Hello and welcome back to Rep Sports. And now Indian men's hockey team semi-final hopes hang by a thread after their 3-1 defeat against Netherlands. Indian men's team next they face Argentina in their final fixture of the championship round, and that is a must-win game for Harmanpreet and Co. Before the game, we all expected that it's going to be a tough challenge for Harmanpreet and his team, and it actually proved in the right way. Netherlands were totally unmatched, to be honest, and if you look at the numbers, of course, India dominated the position. India have more number of circle entries, but that's the quality of Netherlands team that set them apart from the other team in the world hockey. Bharat, so how, if you look at the semi-final equation, of course, it's getting very tough for them. But do you see realistic chance for Indian men's hockey team against Argentina? Do you see real chances?
These all are mathematical chances. First of all, I guess England have to lose to Argentina. That's the key factor. Even after that, India have to go out there, perhaps win by quite a comfortable margin. So this mathematical chances will always be there. When you play bad, when you don't play well, of course, if I don't want to use the word bad for this Indian team, if you don't play well,
True.
then you would end up with all these mathematical chances. Once in a while it happens, maybe in some other sport once it happened, like in the 92 World Cup, from nowhere, that Pakistan versus England match got rained off. Yeah, both of them got 1 point when Pakistan were bowled out for 74, and from nowhere they went on to qualify for the semis and went on to win the tournament. But these things happen once in a lifetime, or once in maybe 10 years, 15 years. So I think India's chances are well and almost over. It is hanging by a thread, as you just noted somewhere. Yeah, India had 61% position. India had 20 circle penetrations, but they missed out on penalty corners. It was not so good, barring that one goal by Harmanpreet. A couple of field changes also they missed out, and Netherlands converted. Let it be Van Dam, a couple of others. They all converted their chances. For example, Helgen Camp obviously early on as well. So when they got the opportunities, they converted into goals. We have already talked about it. Even for the Netherlands was India women's game, that whatever opportunities that India get, they have to convert against better teams. But there also a couple of chances they had. They couldn't convert. Obviously, the women's when it comes to India versus Netherlands in the women's section, the Netherlands team is quite a bit better. But if you put the Netherlands men's team against the Indian men's team, the difference is not as huge. Yes, the men's team, Netherlands men's team is still better than the Indian men's team, but the difference between the Netherlands men's team and the Indian women's team isn't as huge as the Netherlands women's team and the Indian women's team. So India had their opportunities, but they couldn't convert. All that position of 61%, 20 cycle penetrations all went down in the drain, because finally it is all about the results. You might maybe practice for 24 hours before an exam, but if you don't won't put it into practice in an exam, then it is of no use. So that is what basically you can say about India's performance today against the Netherlands.
Absolutely, Bharat, you are spot on. I mean, you can't deny the fact. I mean, how good is Netherlands, to be honest? Because if you look at the numbers, India totally dominated the numbers, circle entries, you say, then ball position, if you say, India totally dominated the numbers. But that shows the quality of the Dutch hockey team. They got few chances and they convert and they made the most of those moments, actually. I mean, the first goal, that was brilliant touch, the deft touch from their forward, which actually uh, got Netherlands their first goal and the second goal as well. And that was a long ball inside India's D, and that was a brilliant touch. I mean, that kind of goal, every hockey fans actually relishes, to be honest, and that shows the sheer quality of Netherlands hockey team. They got few moments in the game. Actually, India tried their best to keep Netherlands away from the game. But it really gets very difficult to keep a team like Netherlands away from the game. In the first two quarter, India did concede any goal, but then in the last two quarter, India's intensity dropped. India lost concentration. There were major defensive lapses, and Netherlands didn't fail to make the most of their chances in the game. But Bharat, if you see India's game matches so far at this World Cup, I mean, starting from the first game against Wales, then Pakistan, then England, the trend have been quite similar. I mean, in the first two quarter, England I mean, India have been disciplined in their defensive composure. They are controlling the tempo at the midfield. They're creating chances with their attackers. But in the last two quarters, again, however, the you know, team is losing their concentration. Team is losing their structure. So, what do you think is going wrong for this team? They really need to work on their concentration or fitness. That is why actually it's impacting the team's performance in the last two quarters.
See, sitting on a chair, it's difficult to say what exactly is going wrong, but you can see sometimes the finishing skills are not there. Some when it comes to uh, getting the goals in, netting the goals in. Sometimes it is a defensive structure. Sometimes it's the midfield as well. It is not like India's midfield has been great in this particular tournament. So a lot of different things it has been, I guess, in this World Cup that has gone wrong from India's perspective, and that is why they're in this position. Just have to first of all, it's not just about defensive structure. You have to make use of the opportunities that you get, especially when you're playing against a better team. Something that all coaches tell, and that also has been missing in this tournament. It could be Rajinder, somewhere it is Dilpreet. Occasionally, it is even India's best striker, Abhishek Nain, here or there, has missed one or two. I'm not saying he's had a bad tournament. He's had a reasonably decent tournament, but even some of the India's best players, they have missed opportunities. Right down to the match against Wales, right? Even someone like German Preet who missed one chance. Obviously, he's a defender, but he got one opportunity. He also missed one. So, and penalty corners, Harman Preet has converted some of them, but I don't think he has been its absolute best. Yes, he has had a back problem. That is something that we consider today too. He was
Exactly.
down with a back issue. But I don't think he was at his absolute best even in that game against Pakistan, though he got a couple of goals away. Yes, he got a goal away today, but he missed a few. Amit Rohidas, I guess, missed one when maybe went wide, one of the penalty corners that he tried. So India have missed out on opportunities. So yes, defensive structure you can talk about. You can talk about high press game. You can talk about different things about this Indian team, which you can say hasn't been at its best. So that is where it is. So I guess Fulton as Indian management has to look at different aspects of Indian hockey that has gone wrong, and then try to rectify it, obviously ahead of the Asian Games.
Absolutely. Bhupendra Sinde is commenting. I really can't understand if we can't beat Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, or Spain. Tell me this bad we are. I mean, it's not like that. In the last 5 years, if you see, every time India have faced Netherlands,
These
every
are
time
big
it has
teams.
been. Sorry?
These are big teams. Is what I say. No, if Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, and all these are big teams in hockey. So it's
No,
not like
no
they're
doubt
weak
they are
teams.
big teams. No doubt
Yeah,
they are
yeah, no,
big
if you
teams.
read this comment, it feels like these are weak teams and how bad we are if we can't beat these teams.
But
It's
but
like,
but the gap is not that big, between Netherlands, Belgium, and India.
but
I mean, in
how
the
bad
recent
we
past,
are this week. So they,
but also if you see in the last 4 or 5 years, every time India have faced this team, most of the time they have been tight contest, or the game have headed into they played out a tight contest against teams like Germany or England, Netherlands. It's not that India doesn't match entry, but somewhere actually this Indian men's hockey team is yet to meet the expectation that were actually set before this World Cup. Because the last leg of the Pro League actually proved that Indian men's team are well prepared for this Hockey World Cup because they're the defeated teams like Netherlands, then Germany. But actually, I don't know what's going wrong at this World Cup. I mean, against England, the way India lost their defensive composure in the last two quarters, then against Pakistan, considering those three goals, then again today against Netherlands, if they would have considered one goal, that's okay. But the way actually they considered the third goal, that really shows that there's something wrong with India's defensive composure. I mean, defensive composure is the one thing that this India used to boast of under, under the Indian head coach Craig Fulton, since he has taken the charge of this team. But somewhere this World Cup, I'm not actually sure what's going wrong with this team, and it also looks concerning before the Asian Games as well. I would request Bharat to take the second comment. No hopes now. यही same story Indian hockey की रहती है हर बार in big tournament. Bharat, your thoughts, because next India will be facing Argentina. So obviously we have already discussed about the equation, but what kind of challenges is waiting against Argentina?
Yeah, first of all, see, it's not about big tournaments, it's about World Cups. India have had a pathetic performance in World Cups over a period of time. In Olympics, obviously, they have won a couple of bronze medals. That also was a problem over a long period of time. So it's about World Cups. That is where India have been very bad for a very, very long period of time. It has just continued. As far as Pro League is concerned, yes, India showed some decent performances against a couple of teams, I agree. But one thing I will add in Pro League, some of these big teams like Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, the kind of experiment that's I think we have to consider. The kind of experimented in those matches against India. Perhaps they didn't play their best side. Yes, India versus Argentina. It's going to be a decent contest. We have seen some what can I say close contest between these two sides over a period of time. Yeah, I think if India played their best, I think they can come out on top against the Argentina men's team. It's somewhat easier to play against Argentina than against someone like Netherlands or Belgium or even Australia because India have had their problems against Australian team in the past. So I kind of expect India to maybe win this, but I don't know what kind of frame of mind the players would be in when they get to play Argentina because at that point of time, India's chances of going into the next round into the semi-finals might be truly over, depending on what happens in today's game between England and Argentina. So, but if
Yeah.
India played their best, I think they have a decent chance of beating Argentina. But I'm not very sure they will do it because of the kind of mindset they would be in at that point of time when they would take on Argentina.
True. Absolutely. And so now the equation is straightforward. I mean, not that straightforward. It looks a bit complicated because India, they need to beat Argentina first, but that won't be enough. India will also need Argentina to beat England because England have carried forward 3 points into the second round as they have beaten India in the group stage. So that's a concern for Indian team. So winning against Argentina won't be enough for India. They will have to rely on the score of the game between England and Argentina as well. India would be hoping that Argentina do the job for them. So it looks very concerning, looks very tight now for India. There is another comment from Armed Force only. Difference clear visible that India और नीदरलैंड का गेम में and at the end they proved it as well. हम बार बार पाकिस्तान जैसे टीमों को हार के खुश हो जाते हैं. I mean, obviously the difference is clearly visible, but at the same time, actually India have played well, to be honest. I think the plan or the philosophy that India had, they executed really well against Netherlands. To be honest, midfield is a real concern for Indian team. Even before going into this World Cup, also, the Indians midfield every time they have struggled to control the tempo of the game against big team. But today against Netherlands, India actually found a way to bypass the midfield. India know that they won't be that much fluid. They won't be, manage to play swift passes through the midfield against Netherlands because they give tight spaces. That's why India were trying to play down the flanks, and India created chances as well. The only difference between Netherlands and India is that Netherlands made the most of the chances they created, but India couldn't convert those chances. Dilpreet, that miss proved costly for India. That was the closest India came to scoring a goal against Netherlands in tonight's game. At the same time, Harmanpreet also scored a goal from the penalty corner. But again, whenever it's penalty corner, either it's Harmanpreet or no one to score from penalty corners. Bharat, your thoughts on this? Isn't India too much reliant on Harmanpreet Singh? India need to have plan B, need to have several options in drag flicker.
Yeah, I guess someone like Draper hit the nail on the head somewhere that India depend a lot on Harmanpreet. When Harmanpreet is not playing at his best, obviously he has had an eagle or two, then India struggle. So that is where it is. They're not getting field goals. As we've also noticed, they don't have the finishing skills, at least in this World Cup. So it's not just about somewhere the defensive structure or the midfield. India don't have the finishing skills, at least in this World Cup. So there are different aspects to look at about India's rather modest performance in this World Cup. Yes, they depend a lot on Harmanpreet. They've tried a few players here or there. Obviously, Rohidas occasionally. maybe a couple of others as well. Maybe occasionally it is Rajinder, whoever it is, but they've tried a couple of them here or there, but it's not really worked. Maybe it's Lakra. But may still depend a lot on Harmanpreet, and the opponents, I guess, know about it as well. And that is where we'll study. Obviously, always study Harmanpreet, his angles, how he's going to
Yeah.
try, how he's going to score, how he tries to score all those goals from as a track flicker, the angles, the subtleties. They will all study all these things, and that is where it comes down to is something similar in other sports as well, be it racket sports or ball sports. As you play for more years, the opponents also will keep studying what exactly are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and they will pick up a few cues, few clues, and that is what I guess is happening to Harmanpreet as well. It's not just about injuries; they understand where he's going to strike. So India have to look. India have to find a couple more decent track flickers in the near future. Hopefully, it will happen. Fingers crossed at some point of time.
Absolutely, and in today's game, there was a bit of touch of cricket and Bollywood as well. As you know, Rahul Dravid, Steve-O, and Abhishek Bachchan was there in the stand to watch the game, and I think all of us know that Rahul Dravid also has a special connection with hockey because before taking that cricket bat, he has tried his luck with hockey stick as well. Bharat, would you like to throw some more words on this, Rahul Dravid, from your state only?
Yeah, he's someone who has been involved in hockey at a junior level. I guess Saint Joseph's
Wow.
School. Anil Aldrin. If I guess he played with him. Might have played with Sandeep Michael. I don't know. Definitely played alongside Anil Aldrin, who went on to play for India. But obviously, once Rahul Dravid said, when I went on to play with this kind of players, I understood I am better off playing cricket. That is why I left hockey. That's what I think the statement that he made. Even a few years ago, recently also he made that statement. Yes, Abhishek Bachchan also was there. Interesting to see all these celebrities coming out to support the Indian team, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But yes, Rahul Dravid, even in the 90s when he was selected for the under 19 team, after that, in the under 19 cricket team, I'm saying after that, when he was selected for the Indian cricket team as well as in the Ranji Trophy team, there were columns coming out that Rahul Dravid also played hockey for St. Joseph's. That's an old story. I recently tried again his hand at hockey. Hopefully, he would have found some rhythm when he recently tried his hand at hockey at his old school. Hmm.
Absolutely. Indian hockey is finished. I think Saurabh Kumar is very frustrated with the result. ये लोग बस lower ranked teams को हरा के सरपंच साहब बन जाएंगे. I mean, Indian hockey is not finished. I mean, they have won back-to-back Olympic bronze medals. So how can you say that Indian hockey is finished? But at the same time, a lot of things actually to learn from nations like Netherlands or Belgium. I think India also need to have a proper league structure like Netherlands and Belgium if they really have to produce more talents in hockey. Of course, India also have a league like Hockey India League. Actually, we were discussing this yesterday show only after India's women's team defeat against Netherlands because in Netherlands or Belgium they have very professional like league structure with several tiers as well in their league. Not only one tier league but several tiers. But in India, if you say in the Hockey India League, that is a closed league with single tier and which runs for only a month. But in Netherlands or Belgium, Hockey League actually runs for several months, from 7 to I think 8 9 months. So actually, Netherlands, Belgium, they are just reaping the benefits of their professional league structure. That's why they are producing so many talents. The talent pool is large, and that's why there is so much competition, between their players, and that's why they are producing one of the most competitive unit in the whole world. I think India also need to learn a lot from the league structure of Netherlands, Belgium. If India have to improve their hockey, of course, in India there is investment, there is fund, there is infrastructure, there is facility, but I think India also need to have a strong league structure to produce more talents in the near future. We've got another comment here. I don't follow Indian hockey team, but I think the mentality is missing. Do you think, Bharat, there is something wrong with the mentality?
I think it's basically a team that is, I think that's perhaps slightly past its best. I would say, I would look at it that way. A lot of these players have been playing for a while now. I think India were at their absolute best in the Paris Olympics. If you ask me, yes, they won a bronze medal in Tokyo as well, but I thought India were at their absolute best, at least in my lifetime. For 32 years of watching hockey from the 1994 World Cup, I think India were at their absolute best in the Paris Olympics. They should have won more than actually a bronze medal. That's just my honest opinion. It came very close to beating Germany in that semi-final, but they ended up losing that game. I think India had a chance of at least winning silver medal in that Olympics. I have a gut feeling that kind of India will go through a transition phase in a year or so. A lot of these players have been playing for a long time. I think that is what the reason is. But I can't understand why India didn't do well in the somewhere about 3 years ago, about 4 years ago in the last World Cup that was played in India, because somewhere India were at almost at their prime, and obviously they were playing in front of the home crowd as well. They still couldn't do well, so that is something that they have to look at. Why in World Cups, even when India were at their absolute prime, uh, they were not able to maybe get the medal. But in the 2024 Olympics, I thought India played really well. Yes, it should have been a silver medal. In just that's just my humble opinion. But from now onwards, in a year or so, I think India will go through a kind of, what can you say, transition phase with some of the players. Might be they might be told to retire or something on those lines, because this is a side that has been the set of players that we're seeing. Most lot of them at least have been playing for a while, for a long time. I think that is the main point to look at as far as this 2026 World Cup is concerned.
Absolutely. Rahul Mohapatra saying we had more PCs, more circle entries, more position than the Dutch, but it seemed a bit too frantic, not controlled at all. Do you think we need to invest more in versatile attackers like Selvam? I mean, we were already discussing this in the beginning of the show that if you see the numbers, the stats, India have dominated actually. They had more possession, they had more circle entries. But again, when it comes to quality, when it comes to quality finishing, India lacks that kind of finishing quality, that actually Netherlands players possess, and that was clearly showed during today's game. I mean, the first two goals, if you see, that shows pure quality, from the Netherlands forward. To be honest, that actually India lacked throughout the whole game. I mean, Dilpreet got one chance, and Abhishek was totally quiet throughout the whole game. We expected more from Abhishek, because if Abhishek somehow he can fire, then Indian attacking department looks totally different. But that actually didn't happen today against Netherlands. It is simple to criticize, but remember, Indians really played their heart out, but errors in defense let us down. You were spot on, Ishita Chauhan. I mean, to be honest, India played with their hearts out, but again, India played with their hearts out in the first two quarter. But when it came to the third quarter, when it came to the fourth quarter, India started dropping their intensity. Somehow India looked out of the game. They might be losing concentration or something, but something actually going wrong for Indian team when playing in towards the dying minute of the game, or you can say in the last quarter, because that's what actually happened against Pakistan. Same story against England as well, even in the first game against Wales as well. Sorry to ask, but are the upcoming hockey players looking promising? Yes, Bharat, would you like to add something?
Yeah. If I want to add something, see, I guess sometimes we think too much about defense because, in my humble opinion, see, it's also about finishing skills, because you can't expect Netherlands to score zero goals, right? Somewhere they would score one goal or two goals. That's kind of unexpected lines. So India also needed to score a few goals. That is where I think the finishing skills are missing. So that is where I would say India have to kind of look at with regard to their finishing skills, especially when they are playing some of these bigger teams. Yes, there are some players coming through. One of them I already mentioned, that is Shilan and Lakra. I don't think he has had a very good tournament. It's about 25, 26. So there are two, three players coming through. Hopefully, India will go through that kind of a transition phase very soon.
Absolutely. India versus Argentina, who will be underdogs going to the match? I think obviously India will be underdog going to that match, especially the kind of form India have showed at this World Cup so far, because India never looked convincing, neither against Pakistan also India didn't look convincing. Against England, still okay, India lost that game. But against Pakistan, against whom actually India were expected to, to be a dominant force, but India lacked that against Pakistan as well. So that shows that there are a few fractures in this Indian hockey team. So in that Argentina game, I think India will be going as underdogs. Don't you agree, Bharat, or do you think India have marginally better chance?
India have marginally better chance, but as I noted, by the time India play against Argentina, I think they might have been out of the World Cup. So then it comes down to basically if you have that mentality to play a match where it feels like a dead rubber kind of a contest. So it basically depends on a lot of other things like Argentina versus England or on those lines. But if you ask me, India I think have a slightly better chance. Just wanted to add a few more players that I suddenly remembered when it comes to youngsters. They don't didn't exactly play well in this tournament. A few of them. There is obviously Steve Sivach. We have already talked about him, a youngster, Pritham Sivach's son. Then I think someone like Aditya Lalage also is a pretty good midfielder. These are the couple of them I remembered. So yes, but these players have to kind of improve. It's not like they have had their best tournament in this World Cup. And there are a few more I remember from junior nationals. I guess it is Ajit Yadav is someone we might have to look out for forward. And then the other one is, I guess, Ekka, their captain, Indian captain somewhere at junior level, and also Rohit Kullu. So these are the, I think, three, four players that I kind of remembered. So, yeah, but India will go through a transition phase at some point of time in the future. But Paddy Upton has helped in the past. It has helped in the past with regard to Olympics. Finally, the players have to execute the plans. You can't always blame the coaching staff because I think Paddy
Yes.
Upton in the past has helped the Indian team with regard to the Olympics, especially the 2024 Olympics. If I'm not mistaken, when India took on England and they had 10 men, and somehow they were able to kind of come out on top in that match. I think you had an interview with him. So you might say a few more words about how good Paddy Upton is.
No, absolutely. My question also same like Saurabh Kumar. I mean, I also agree with you. I mean, the coaching staff have done their job, but now it remains to be seen whether you can execute it or not on the pitch. I mean, Paddy Upton, of course, have worked on several things like, how to control your mind, during uh, some adverse circumstances during the game. Suppose you are trailing by 1 or 2 goals. Suppose any referee's decision going against you. So how will you control your mind at those times? So I think Paddy Upton left any stone unturned. But as you already said, that Paddy Upton actually worked wonders for Indian men's team during the Olympic. But just because of the result, you can't blame the coaching staff. Of course, there is something wrong. But one valid point, I think it's been already been mentioned somewhere in the comment section as well, that this team actually need few new players, new faces as well, because this team is really going through transition. I mean, players like Manpreet, a lot of players were also in twilight of their career. So India need to have a strong pipeline, to be honest, going into the near future. They need new talent as well. We need also another drag flicker to give support to Harmanpreet Singh. Because again, when it comes to coming to the penalty corners, either it's Harmanpreet Singh or no one. I mean, India got penalty corners, few penalties in the first 2 quarters as well. But there was no Harmanpreet Singh. There was no one to score the goal. So that looks, really disappointing for Indian men's team. A lot of areas to address actually, but next target obviously will be Asian Games for Craig Fulton and his team. But the kind of performance they have showed so far, it really looks concerning. But again, there is always some room. There is time to improve your side before the much-awaited Asian Games. Okay, we have already taken a lot of comments. We'll take last two comments, then we'll wrap up our show. Indian hockey team, you played good, but waiting for the day you play your best. Absolutely. I agree with you, Saurabh Kumar. That's why I feel we need versatile attackers in Indian team like Silva, Amandeep Lagra, etc. And many want. To be honest, I look too much into park game structure was like that. I will look more in England team. Absolutely, we agree with you, Rahul Mahapatra. Okay, so that's it. But before ending the show, Bharat, your thoughts, your expectation from tomorrow's game, Indians women's team facing Australia, a must-win game for them.
Yeah, I guess Australia will start as marginal favorites. Few of the players have already mentioned, like Knobs. They have two, three Stewarts. They have three, four fine key players. Australia. It's not the side that they used to be. They ranked about seventh or eighth. It's not the world champion side that they were long ago. India recently played well against Australian team. I think they have a decent chance. I won't say India will start as the favorites. I will say it is more like 55 Australia, 45 India. But if India bring their A game, maybe if Australia's level comes down slightly, I have a gut feeling that then India have a chance of winning that match. But I would still put Australia as the slight marginal favorite going into this matchup.
Let's see whether they can create history or not against Australia, because that would be a massive moment. Somehow, if they can, pull off a victory against Australia. What's your prediction? What are you expecting about that game between India and Australia tomorrow? Let us know in the comment section below, and also stay tuned to Rev Sports for more update from the Hockey World Cup. That's it for now. Thanks a lot, Bharat, and to all of our viewers. See you in our next show.